So my wife had a more difficult time, especially not me like fully being with her 100%. It was really hard for her. Me, just like my wife's there for me. She's like, babe, I'm here for you. If you have any problems, how you feeling? Because I know how it is. And then I try to be the best husband I could at that time when she left, but like I was still in Zion trying to bring her back. So.
Mm-hmm.
And she had nobody to talk to. She tried to talk to me, and then she said, "Hey, talking to me." She was like, "You sound robotic." She told me that. She's like, "You sound robotic."
Your wife told you that, yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm like, that hurt me. Me and my wife been knowing each other since we were 16 years old. I'm 28 now, so that's 12 years. We know each other. So for her to say like I sound robotic, and that's one thing. Going back to the videos too, it's super cringy. I'm like, that's not me. I don't sound like that. I sound like another member around me. That's not me.
That's so interesting. There's another podcast by two sisters. One was a former deaconess, and the podcast is called Playing in Traffic. A little shout out to that podcast. They basically are covering some interviews with former members, and just she shares her experience in the group, why she left, things like that. But one thing they talk about regularly that I think is so interesting is this idea that as you're a part of this cult, you kind of take on this whole separate identity that they call it like your cult identity. So like there's the real you, who you really are, but then as you become a part of this group, it's kind of like you take on this different identity, this different way of talking and way of thinking that really it's unnatural. Like it's almost this forced thing, and you suppress like the true part of yourself to kind of make way for this other cult identity. And I feel like honestly, like I can look back at those conversations, the live conversations with you and other members, and I can hear that. I can hear that in the way they talk and the things that they say. It's like you can hear this like almost like this forced out. They're forcing this stuff out of themselves. That's not even really a true part of who they are. It's not even really what they're thinking. It's not real. It's not coming out of a place like from like their heart, like their inner person. It's something that they are putting onto themselves and kind of forcing themselves to say and to do. And so, yeah, it's interesting that you recognize that, and to have your wife kind of call that out. I'm sure that would be something that would really make you kind of take a second look at it all.
Yeah, for sure. Not no lie, like and that's how it is. Like people are not themselves in there. Like you're somebody else. That's you're impersonating your leaders. Basically, that's what I was just doing. Like, oh, you look like a good humble person. Just mimic him. Copy, mirroring him. You naturally you're influenced that if you're spending your time with that person, like every day of your life. It's like you start to then traits come to you, and it's like that's not me. It's like that's you just touch yourself.
You lose yourself.
You lose yourself, your way of thinking, and you just go along with how like we it's just like our rebuttals too. It's like the same. It's like you say the same exact thing. It's like it's not coming
just
from the
programmed
heart.
Responses.
It's programmed. Yeah. Oh, it's really programmed. That's why my wife's getting mad at me. Like you just saying things because you're programmed to say that, and it's like looking at the videos too. I'm like yeah, I was programmed to say that.
Yeah, it's like you don't really even believe it. You haven't thought of that on your own. You haven't thought all the way through it. It's just this is what you've been told to say. So in this scenario that I'm in now, I know this is the correct answer to give. So it's like comes out on like this conveyor belt sort of process, and there's no real meaning or substance to it. And yeah, that's one of the worst parts of this is just you lose yourself, like you just said, and even like your interests and probably hobbies and passions and like music that you maybe really truly like that you can't listen to anymore, or movies you like to, just a whole variety of things, I mean, obviously even down to things like your family, your deepest connections. A lot of members have to completely cut off those relationships. And so you literally in high demand groups like this, you lose yourself.